All right, so the volume of any object is a measure of the amount of space inside of a solid figure. So this piece of paper is 2 dimensions. It has length and width, but it doesn't have any height. It doesn't, come up, So if I have, for example, this apple, it has space inside. So the volume is simply measuring what's inside of here. And so something that's 3D, like a cube, a ball, a cylinder, a cylinder is something that's like a tube shaped, like a paper towel roll, or like the exhaust pipe on your car. A prism is just a fancy word for a box. A box is a prism, okay? Or a pyramid. We've all seen the pictures of ancient Egypt, and we know what pyramids are. And its units are cubic, which, for example, centimeters cubed, inches cubed, feet cubed. That little 3 up there, that means something is cubed. There we go. This 3 is indicative of a volume. That means the base and the height have been taken into consideration. So let's get started here. First, do y'all know what the shape is called? Anybody seen this shape before? It's a rectangular prism. Rectangular prism. That is RECTANG, as in girl, ULARPRISM. Rectangular prism. And when you start working problems, you're going to have to draw every shape. You're going to have to write every shape's name, and you're going to have to draw the base of the shape and write the base of the shape's name. So let's get into the habit of going through this process. Even if the shape is given to you, you still have to redraw it, okay? The shape of the base. Now first, what is the base of this shape? The base of a rectangular prism would be this right here. So on your notes, if you could shade this area as well. Okay. So this is the base, and if you would like to label that as the base, that would be a good idea. And what's this shape? It's just a rectangle. And that's RECTANGLE. So before we can calculate the formula, the volume of this rectangular prism, we first have to know the formula for this base, because we have to calculate how big this is before we can go on to the volume. That formula is the base equals length times width. I'm going to show you why I'm using length and width and not base and height, okay? On our rectangular prism, 18, this is our length. So we're going to label this as side L. 13, this is our width, the W. And our height is 17, okay? So if the area of the base is the length times the width, base equals length times width. In this example, I would be multiplying 18 centimeters times 13 centimeters, because if it's 13 centimeters up here, this is also 13 centimeters down here. So you're just multiplying this side times that side. So equals 18 centimeters times 13 centimeters. If you put that in your calculator, what answer do you get? You should get 234 centimeters squared, because I have this centimeter and this centimeter, make a centimeter squared. So now that we have our base, we can use this number to find out the volume. And what the volume is the area of the base times the height of the shape. So what's the height in this shape? 17. So we're going to write 17 here. And our volume formula, if you look, everyone has a STAR reference sheet. We're going to start using this every day in here. All of your formulas are given to you on this sheet, and you will be provided this reference sheet on the STAR test as well. And it says our volume of a prism. So you see where it says prism, and it gives you volume equals base times height. Okay? So right here, we're going to write volume equals base times height. So what is the volume of our rectangular prism? Well, what is our base? We just figured it out. The base is 234 times the height. We know the height is 17. We just got it from right there. So what is my answer? Put that in the calculator. Everyone should have got one. Good job. If you put this in the calculator, just 234 times 17. Pull up the calculator real quick. And I apologize if you can't see my screen. Oh, you can see it great. You just 234 times 17. You don't have to do a million for one or anything like that. And you should have gotten 3,978. 3,978, and the unit is centimeters, and because it is volume, it is now cubed. So all we did is we first find the area of the base. Two, find the height. Three, substitute the values for the variables. We found the area, we found the height, and then we just substitute the variables. Those are your steps to solving this type of problem. Are we good here? I'll give you a few minutes to copy that down. And then, so our next shape is the cylinder. This is something like a paper towel roll, something like that. Name of the shape? Spelled C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R. Now we have to identify the base. The base is this part of this shape right here. What shape is this base? What? It is a circle. So the shape of the base is a circle, C-I-R-C-L-E. So just like the previous problem, we first find the area of the base. Find the area of the base. The formula for the area of this base will be the same as the area of a circle. I'm sorry? Oh, you don't write that. That's something that's on my copy of the notes that I think it should be, it might have copied on yours too, but you don't have to write that down. Thank you for that question. If you look on your reference sheet, you will see the area of a circle is right here. That is pi times the radius squared. So this base is going to be pi times the radius squared. So over here, we're just going to rewrite our formula. I'm a big fan of writing the formula, and I'm going to write it pi times the radius squared, so you can understand that this is two separate numbers here. So the base is going to equal, what's the radius on this shape? 4. This is the radius. And the radius is halfway across. You may see this if you're given an entire line all the way across the circle, that's the diameter, and you will have to know to cut that in half to get your radius. We will see that here in a second, but right now we're just given the radius, so we're just going to put 4 squared. And when we put that in the calculator, I'm sorry, put our radius down here. So when we put this in the calculator, what do we get? If you don't know how to put pi into the calculator, the pi button is down here in the lower left-hand corner. You just hit pi, and it brings up all these other characters. Pi is the first one, and you're just going to hit enter again. And then you'll hit, you can just put 4 and then x squared. You can put it in just like that. And you push your enter, and you should get 50.2655. Do y'all get that? And we're going to round that to 50 point, we'll just cut it at 50.27 because we want 2 decimal places. So now that we have the area of the base, we can use this area to find the height, to multiply that by the height and get the volume. So what is the height? What do you think the height of this shape is? 6, right. We're given, this side right here is the height. So we'll put 6. And now we need the formula for the volume of a cylinder. If you look at your STAR reference sheet, cylinder, and then the formula, I'm sorry, I apologize. The volume of a cylinder, I was up for a surface area. And the formula is volume equals base times height, so the same as with a prism. So I have my volume equals my base times my height. My volume is going to equal, what's my base? This is my base right here, and my height came from there. So I have 50.27 times 6. And what is my answer? If you have your calculator and you already have your previous answer, you can just hit the multiply button. And then 6, and you should have gotten 301.593, which will round to 301.59, and then that is centimeters was our unit, is that correct? Cubed. So we found the area of the base. We found the height. and substitute the variables, the values for the variables. And we substitute values for the variables. I'm a big fan of rewriting things. That's how your brain remembers stuff. Found the area of the base, you found the height, and you substituted your values for the variables, and got your answer. Okay? We're halfway done. Your next shape should be a sphere. Okay. The name of this shape is spelled S-P-H-E-R-E. The shape of the base of a sphere, if you cut it in half, it has to be exactly in half, and it'll be a circle. So you want to shade this area right here. If you can think of cutting the world in half, the equator, that's the midpoint. If we cut the globe along the equator and opened it up, you would have a circle. What is the radius on this figure? 3. We're given that number. So spheres are very straightforward. What is the formula for the volume of a sphere? All you have to do is go to your reference sheet, and under volume, there's sphere, and it is volume equals 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So the volume formula, V equals 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. We just said that our radius was 3, so we're just going to rewrite our problem, again substituting our values for our variables. So when we put this in the calculator, you're going to hit, you can do a -1 and comma V, but you don't have to do that. I just put this directly into the calculator, control divide, 4/3. You want to hit the key to arrow over so that you don't put the pi underneath in the denominator. You want it to be next to the fraction. And then you'll just hit the pi button in that lower left-hand corner. And then 3. And to make 3 cubed, over here by x squared, the exponent key, you'll hit that and enter 3 and press enter, and you should have gotten 113 point, it says 0.097, which would round to 113.1, but we're just going to leave it at 0.09, just so, that kind of looks like a 5, let me fix that, just so that we have 2 decimal places. Are y'all good there? All we did was use the radius, substitute it into the formula. Sometimes you're given the radius. Again, sometimes it may have a straight line all the way across, which would be your diameter, and you would have to know to cut that in half. All right, guys, our last shape is on the back. This is called a cone. A cone, C-O-N-E. What is the shape of this base? It is a circle, so go ahead and shade the base. This is a step that you will need to do. You will need to shade the base of your shapes. All of your teachers will be expecting to see this, and if we don't see it, you will be seen as not showing your work, and the problem will be graded accordingly. Okay? This highlighter is done. So this shape is a circle. And again, back to that star reference sheet to find the volume of a cone. Under volume, it has cone. And the formula for that is V equals 1/3 times the base times the height. Remember, or the area of the base times the height, okay? So the formula for the area of the base is, again, the same as the formula of the circle. So the base is going to equal pi r squared. Okay, so what is the radius of this base? What is the radius here? Well, I've been given 6, which looks like that's the height, right? Since we've identified that, go ahead and write it down. But what's my radius? Remember how I said if the line was going all the way across, that was the diameter. So we know that the diameter, the radius is half of the diameter. So right here, I have diameter. So I want y'all to label this as diameter. And the radius is equal to, I'm sorry, radius, I can spell it right. Radius is equal to 1/2 of the diameter. So if my diameter is 10, what's my radius? 5. My radius here is 5. 5 centimeters. Sometimes it's going to give you diameter, and you're going to have to know that the radius is half of that. So let's put 5 here. So now we have to find the area of the base. I know I didn't do this in the last step, but let's go back to it. The area of the base is going to equal pi r squared. So my base is going to equal pi times 5 squared. What's my base? Put that in the calculator. Pi button, lower left-hand corner, times 5x squared. You should get 78.5398. That rounds to 78.54. What's my unit? Centimeters squared. Now that I have the area of my base, I need to find my height. What's my height? 6. And then third, I need to substitute my values for variables. Okay, so my volume formula, again, that comes from your star reference sheet. The volume formula of a cone is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Now I need to substitute my values for my variables. My area of my base, so I would write 1/3 78 times 78.54 times my height of 6. Got that from right there. And I just put this in the calculator. So what's the volume of my shape? I just get my calculator. Again, you don't have to do many 3-1, just put this directly into it. Control divide. Control divide. 1/3 Don't forget to hit your arrow key over, and then you hit times 78.54, and then times 6. So you hit times 6. Enter. Should have gotten 157.08. And our unit, again, is centimeters. And because it is volume, it is cubed. So this reads 157.8 centimeters cubed, or 157.8 cubic centimeters.